Lucky begins with Luciana already trapped. Federal agents have surrounded a parking lot filled with trucks, and she appears to have nowhere left to go. That opening immediately gives us the central question of the first two episodes. How did a woman who was celebrating in Las Vegas with her husband only hours earlier become the person everyone is hunting? More importantly, why does every side believe she has answers when she may actually be the most confused person in the entire story? The basic setup is simple. Luciana, known as Lucky, helps Cary move more than $10 million tied to a biodiesel fraud scheme. They reach Las Vegas expecting to disappear, but she wakes alone. Cary and the money are gone, while the FBI is searching the hotel. The story therefore becomes less about the theft and more about betrayal, family loyalty, and control. What makes the opening work is that Luciana does not behave like a criminal mastermind. She's nervous even before everything falls apart. In the hotel room, while Cary talks about their future and encourages her to enjoy the money, Luciana cannot stop thinking about where it came from and what they have done. Cary wants her to leave that fear behind, so they gamble, drink, and party as if they have already won. But Luciana's discomfort tells us something important. She may have agreed to the plan, yet she never truly believed that they were safe. That is why her waking up alone feels like more than a simple plot twist. Cary is not just her husband. He's the person who convinced her that the two of them were in this together. When she finds both him and the suitcases gone, the emotional damage is immediate. She doesn't only lose the money, she loses the one person she believed she could trust. The obvious possibility is that Cary planned to betray her, but the show deliberately leaves enough uncertainty to make that explanation feel incomplete. Luciana soon learns that she and Cary are tied to a mob-connected biodiesel operation that stole more than $200 million from the government. More than $10 million was never recovered, almost certainly the cash they moved. To the FBI, she's not an abandoned wife. She's half of a fugitive couple who may know where the missing fortune is. Agent Rand sees Luciana as the first link in a much bigger chain. If she catches Luciana, she may find Cary. Cary may lead her to the money could bring Priscilla into the open, and Priscilla could finally lead the FBI to Whittaker, the man at the top of the operation. This is why Rand is willing to push so hard. Luciana is not the final target. She's the door Rand believes she can use to enter the entire criminal network. Luciana's escape from the hotel also tells us what kind of survivor she is. She does not rely on strength. She reads people quickly and gives them whatever story will make them help her. When she reaches the cargo area, she convinces a truck driver that she's running from an abusive boyfriend. The story is false, but the fear behind it is real. Luciana is genuinely being hunted, and she understands that emotional truth can make a lie believable. Luciana survives because she recognizes what people fear and want to believe. That skill makes her difficult to judge. She lies because she's in danger, but the people she manipulates are often innocent. The show asks us to sympathize with her while reminding us that her survival usually comes at somebody else's expense. The flashbacks involving her father, John, explain why she's in this position. John was involved in the same laundering operation as Priscilla, but he secretly removed small amounts of money and stored them separately. He believed Priscilla would not notice. When he learned that the situation was becoming dangerous, he asked Luciana to move the cash. She initially resisted, but eventually she and Cary collected it from the storage unit. This means Luciana did not create the original scheme. She inherited it. Her father's betrayal to Priscilla became her responsibility, and Cary's disappearance turned that responsibility into a death sentence. John tries to help from prison by reminding her of her training, yet even that relationship is complicated. He prepared her to survive danger, yet he's also the reason that danger exists. Priscilla's role makes the conflict even more personal. She's not only a criminal looking for missing money, she's Cary's mother, John's former partner, and someone who appears to believe Luciana is either lying or protecting her son. When Dutch forces Luciana into Priscilla's car, Luciana insists that Cary took the money. Priscilla refuses to accept that answer because accepting it would mean admitting that her own son betrayed her. Priscilla's anger may also come from the fact that Luciana is easier to punish than Cary, who is absent. The FBI sees Lucky as a route to Cary. Priscilla sees a possible accomplice. Whittaker sees a loose end, and John expects his daughter to repair the consequences of his own choices. Luciana's escape from Priscilla's men proves that she understands one thing clearly: surrender will not save her. She causes the vehicle to crash, escapes, and walks into the desert because even the desert is safer than the house where they plan to question her. That choice shows how desperate the situation has become. She would rather face heat, thirst, and isolation than remain in the hands of people who have already decided she is guilty. The Sylvia storyline is important because it briefly gives Luciana something the rest of the story denies her: safety. Sylvia lives with her granddaughters, Ellie and Hazel, and Luciana once again uses the story of an abusive man to gain sympathy. This time, however, the lie cuts deeper. Sylvia lost her daughter after years of abuse, so she sees Luciana as someone she failed to save before. For Luciana, the house becomes more than a hiding place. She eats, cleans herself up, spends time with the girls, and experiences a version of ordinary family life. For a few hours, she is not being treated as a fugitive, a daughter carrying her father's crimes, or a wife abandoned by her husband. She is simply a woman being cared for. That is why Rand's arrival matters emotionally. When Rand explains Luciana's crimes, Sylvia realizes that the woman she protected may have used her grief. Luciana does not become angry with Sylvia for turning against her because she understands the betrayal from Sylvia's perspective. Still, she steals Sylvia's truck and some money before leaving. The scene reminds us that Luciana can appreciate kindness and still exploit it when survival demands it. At the same time, Priscilla follows Cary's trail more violently. She locates his rental car, finds an address, confronts Noah, shoots him, and takes him for questioning. Her methods show that she is not waiting for the truth to come to her. She is forcing her way through every possible lead because failure has consequences. Those consequences become clear when she meets Whittaker. Until then, Priscilla appears to be the most powerful criminal in the story. She commands Dutch, threatens John, kidnaps Noah, and orders Luciana taken away. But in front of Whittaker, that power disappears. He humiliates and attacks her, then makes it clear that recovering the money is not optional. This changes how we understand Priscilla. She is dangerous, but she is also desperate. She is hunting Luciana and Cary partly because Whittaker is hunting her through fear. If she fails, she may become just as disposable as the people she is threatening. That does not excuse what she does, but it explains why she has no patience for Luciana's claim that Cary disappeared with the cash. The ending of episode 2 brings all these pressures together. Luciana steals Sylvia's pickup, runs out of fuel, and encounters Dutch again at a gas station. He questions her about Cary and the money, but she still has nothing useful to tell him. When the police are called, Dutch leaves in his truck, unaware that Luciana has hidden in the back. At first, this looks like Luciana is placing herself directly in danger, but it may be the smartest move available to her. Dutch is connected to Priscilla, and Priscilla is actively searching for Cary. Instead of continuing to run without information, Luciana decides to follow the people who may unknowingly lead her to the truth. She is no longer only escaping, she is beginning to investigate. The biggest mystery is still Cary. He may have betrayed Luciana and taken the money for himself. He may have been kidnapped. He may owe someone. Or he may be carrying out a separate plan that neither Luciana nor Priscilla understands. The first 2 episodes do not give enough evidence to settle that question, and that uncertainty is the engine of the story. My prediction is that Cary's disappearance is more complicated than a husband stealing money and abandoning his wife. If he only wanted the cash, he had many safer ways to disappear before arriving in Las Vegas. The fact that he vanishes at the exact moment the FBI and Priscilla begin closing in suggests another person or another plan may be involved. Luciana hiding in Dutch's truck means she is finally moving toward those answers, but it also means she is entering the one place where a single mistake could get her killed.